Donald Trump just gave one of the most embarrassing speeches of his life, this time at a U.S. naval base in Japan. I mean, even the sailors were looking at him like, what is this guy talking about? So Trump walks out, all puffed up, pretending he's commander-in-chief again. And then he tells the troops he'd love to have their job.
Very much. A big hello. This is a special group of patriots, champions, winners. You are winners. Oh, I'd love to have your job. I'd love to have your job.
Yeah, he really said that. I'd love to have your job. Sure, Don. The same guy who dodged the draft 5 times because of fake bone spurs now wants to play soldier. Please. Then he starts bragging about how he's defeated inflation and that everyone's prospering. Like, what?
Because we're doing so well. Inflation has been defeated and workers' wages are rising at the fastest pace in 60 years, and that includes your wages. They're rising in the fastest pace. The workers, I'm not talking about the rich people. Rich people, everyone's doing well. Everyone in our country is now doing well. My first term, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had an economy like nobody has seen before. Now we're doing it again, but this time actually it's going to be much bigger, much stronger. I told you $17 trillion, but it's going to be $21 trillion. And that's numbers that have never been heard of before. Much bigger than any other country in the world by literally $16 trillion.
He's literally standing in front of troops overseas claiming he beat inflation. Meanwhile, back home, people are drowning under rent hikes, groceries cost double, and the middle class is barely hanging on. He's talking about record wages. No, what's record-breaking is the amount of delusion coming out of his mouth. And then he starts glitching again, starts rambling about the Gulf of Mexico and how he renamed it the Gulf of America.
To what is now known as the Gulf of America. Isn't it nice? They say it now routinely. I heard the news today. The Gulf of America, weather is wonderful. They don't say it with a smile. It's called the Gulf of America. How did that happen, right? And it took me, for many years I said, why is it called the Gulf of Mexico when we seem to have the shore? Well, we do. We have 92% of the shoreline. So I said, when we make it back, not if, when, too big to rig. We made it too big to rig. I said, get out and vote. Too big to rig. Make it that way. I said, I'm going to change it. And one of the first things I did is I changed it. Nobody could even fight it. They tried. We got sued all over the place. We won every suit. And it's now officially the Gulf of America. Isn't that nice? But our sailors have written honor, greatness, and triumph into the pages of history. What you're doing is incredible. And it's an incredible time for our country on gun decks and flight decks and torpedo rooms and cockpits. The men and women of the Navy have poured out their blood and sweat and tears to defend the land.
You can't make this up. He's like, we won lawsuits, we changed the name. It's now the Gulf of America. No, Donald, you didn't rename the Gulf. You just renamed reality in your own head. This man thinks words become laws the moment he says them. And just when you think it can't get weirder, he says he doesn't like good-looking people. That's right. The guy obsessed with gold-plated mirrors and fake tans says he never liked good-looking people. Sure, buddy. Next, he's going to tell us he hates golf courses.
From the men and women of the rank and file, that's true. It comes from you people, incredible people, good-looking people, too many good-looking people. I don't like good-looking people. I never liked good-looking people, I'll be honest with you. I've never admitted that before. But see, I'm allowed to, we won in the Supreme Court a thing based on merit. You know about that, right? Merit. Everything now in our country is based on merit. And that's why I look at you and I see nothing but merit. It's great to have a country back where we can go by merit. Now we don't go by anything else except for talent and work and hard work.
Then he moves on to, I kid you not, steamships. Yeah, steamships. He's ranting about how we should go back to steam because it looks nice and you can fix it with a hammer. This is the guy who wants to be commander-in-chief again. The man is stuck in 1910 talking about catapults and blowtorches.
I'm going to put it in order. Seriously. They're spending billions of dollars to build stupid electric. And the problem, when it breaks, you have to send up to MIT, get the most brilliant people in the world, fly them out. It's ridiculous. The steam, they said they can fix it with a hammer and a blowtorch. And it works just as well, if not better. And I love the sight of that beautiful steam pouring off that deck with the electric. You don't have that. So, we did the Ford and electric, the cost overruns, everything else. But, I hope it's going to be okay. But I like steam. We're going to go back to steam. They change just for the sake of changing. I said to the architect, have you ever designed a ship before? You know, he only did the biggest ship in the world, right? The Ford. But we're going to go back. Okay, now.
Then he says he's signing an executive order to bring back steam catapults for aircraft carriers, because that's what America needs, more steam.
Can I ask you, the top-ranking gentleman right here? Seriously, I'm putting out an order. I'm going to sign an executive order. When we build aircraft carriers, it's steam for the catapults, and it's hydraulic for the elevators. We'll never have a problem, okay? Do you agree? He agrees. Everybody agrees, but these people in Washington. All right. We're going to do that. I'm serious about it.
He's talking to admirals like it's a middle school science fair. You agree, right? And they're just nodding like, please stop talking. You can tell they're embarrassed. Then he says he hugged the missiles. Literally hugged them. What is wrong with this man? He's bragging about hugging missiles like it's a Hallmark movie. Nobody wants your missiles, Donald. They want you out of power.
But I'm delighted to report that I've just approved the first batch of missiles. You saw a couple of them coming down with me. I hugged them. We need them. They're the best in the world. Nobody has them like we have them. They all want our missiles. That's the problem. Everybody wants them. But it's the first batch of missiles to be delivered to the Japanese self-defense forces for Japan's F-35s. And they're coming this week, so they're ahead of schedule.
And then, because of course he does, he starts lying about immigration again, calling migrants criminals and murderers. Completely false. He's fear-mongering about 25 million insane asylum immigrants. Just disgusting rhetoric. He's demonizing people who are simply looking for a better life.
Through an open border policy where 25 million people poured into our country, totally unvetted, totally unchecked. They came from prisons. They came from mental institutions and insane asylum. They were drug dealers. They were bad people. 11,388 were murderers, half of which committed more than one murder. They let them into our country. We're getting them the hell out. We're getting them out. We're getting them out fast. Is that okay with you? Yes, right? I have no doubt. Got to get them out.
And then, my favorite part, he starts talking about magnets and water. You can't follow it. You drop water on magnets and who knows what happens. Sir, what are you talking about? Is this a science class from an alternate dimension?
Second question, hydraulic for your elevators or magnets? You know, the new thing is magnets. So instead of using hydraulic, you can be hit by lightning and it's fine. You take a little glass of water and you drop it on magnets. I don't know what's going to happen. So, you know.
Then he ends by claiming he ended 8 wars in 8 months. He says this every single time he gets on a stage. Like clockwork. It's one of his go-to lies, part of his personal mythology. 8 wars in 8 months. He says it at rallies, at fundraisers, in interviews, and now even in front of our troops overseas. No fact-checker on Earth can find evidence of this because it never happened. What he did end was America's credibility and stability on the global stage.
As you know, and I said before, I ended 8 wars in 8 months, the most of any president in history. No president that we know has ever ended any war. A lot of them go into wars.